Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma friends, through this all the spiritual practice, through this meditation, and we mostly look for our salvation or the liberation. So, before we go to that liberation or the salvation, in this conventional life as an ordinary person, we have to fulfill, we have to be successful in certain areas. So when it comes to that, conventional success is one of the important thing is gain the freedom. So gain the freedom from what? So there are many ways that you can interpret that freedom. But one of the main important part in our life, the fear that we hold inside us. So when you develop your spiritual practice, one of the important thing that happening deeper in your heart, in your life, is you are become free from this inherent fear. Because this fear hold us to many things. The fear itself hold us to samsara. And sometimes we, from the childhood, our education and all other activities, even practicing meditation and all our religious life, even the people do certain wrong things. So this fear can take us to different directions in our life. But what is fear? You have to question yourself, because if I give an answer, what will happen? You're not going to see the beginning of your fear. Why? Because it is kind of like then you start to follow the ideas. But always remember that we share this all the ideas, and it is just practice point of view. So you no need to bound to that ideas. You have to keep your inner freedom. It is not kind of like a schooling. It's not kind of like educating that it is not kind of like that cultivating your life according to certain ideas. So the fear come out of the thoughts. So what is thought? So the thought is energy, and the thought is a movement related to mainly time and space. So there is no certain entity, physical entity as thought, and even there is no physical entity as mind. So in the science, that the whatever they take, this brain is not the mind. It is maybe part of, because the mind is all over your body. So the mind is always appear as a result of the conditions. So then the fear is related to thoughts. thoughts related to energy, energy related to time and space. So when you able to, the thing is this, when the fear arises because of any reason, mostly personally, ourselves, when it come to the natural or the outside fear, we are capable to deal with that, or we are capable to maintain it, and we are capable to go with it. But how about when it comes this with this deeper inside fear? Because if you don't see it, what will happen? You start to resist, or you start to react to that. That, as you know, that then the fear, if the fear come out of the emptiness, because the energy arises out of the emptiness. The latest science, according to the quantum physics, this everything arises out of the emptiness. But you cannot neglect something as empty when it arises in you. But when you go deeper, deeper, deeper to question and see the fear, it is become a profitable skill to you. So if you look for the freedom, rather than focusing to freedom or projecting the freedom or the dreaming the freedom, you have to look what are the barriers that you hold, why you cannot gain the freedom, what is the fear that you hold. Rather than look towards the freedom, start to look towards the fear. That is a great profitable skill. It is a challenge. Why? Because mostly we don't like to observe, investigate, analyze the fear. But the beauty is, when you start to go inward, that is the skill that you develop through the vipassana. So when you start to go inward and investigate, analyze the fear, and you start to recognize it come out of the thoughts. And once you recognize that, there is no fear. When there is no fear, there is no reaction for that. When there is no fear, the recognition itself take you out of the fear. Once you get out of the fear, you become free. But the thing is, what we mostly misunderstand, we have the fear regarding many situations, especially mostly regarding the future, especially in this environment. With these pandemic situations, people have the fear regarding the future. So that is related to time, and it is related to thoughts and your experience. But that doesn't mean you should not be fearful regarding something. There are certain things you have to have the fear. But once you deeply go into the beginning of the fear, you recognize it is just a thought. And that recognition will help you to get out of the fear. Because if you are in fear, you cannot find a solution. That's why in the five hindrance, Kama Chanda, Vyapada, Thinamidda, Uddhacha Kukkucha, Vichikicha. The Kama Chanda, the deeper desire, self-centered desire to find the satisfaction through your perception. So when you have that deeper desire, and itself, the desire create a kind of like a resistance, then you have that the resistance itself bring the fear. So like dislike also create fear, and then once it covered by the once that it covered your mind, then you cannot find the freedom. And vyapada is the anger. The anger is not the just the this you get angry about these little things in day-to-day life. The strong anger, look for revenge. It's like a black hole, kind of like a whatever around it, like to suck it and destroy, illuminate it. So that kind of strong anger and feed to the fear. As you know that animal have behavior, the fear create the anger, and it create the violence. So when you have the fear, that itself you become wild, you become angry. So the fear is kind of like a foundation, the most of the thing, even for the sansara, even for the good things and the bad things, both we have the fear. And even for right things and the wrong things, we both have the fear. What is the fear that you have? What is the fear that you gain through the good? Because when you gain some good, then you have the fear to lose it. And when you have kind of like a success even, and you have fear to lose it sometimes, so then what will happen? It is can lead you to the jealousy, hatred, anger, so like that. And the theonomy, the sloth and though, that the heaviness, dullness, then the fear can lead you to that also. And the fear can lead you to doubt. And fear can lead you to restlessness. So the fear is a kind of like a major part and play the role to keep us like this. But it is just a thought. But it has power to appear through many ways. So then when you observe it deeply, and you recognize that it is a thought. So what is the nature of the thought? It arising and existing and disappearing. And when you see this, and little by little, what will happen? That the responding to fear going to disappear. You accept it. Mostly what we learn, we reject the fear. Far away, we go against the fear. We build up all the territory, the environment to escape from the fear. We develop the security to stay away from the fear. So that security itself increase the fear inside us. So then remember yourself, deeper inside, don't afraid for anything. Conventionally, socially, sometimes we have to accept things and we have to go with that. But deeply inside you, remember yourself, don't afraid. Why? Because it is a thought. Mostly that whatever inherent within our own life, this deeper inside, you have to question yourself. Sometimes you have fear for people regarding somebody, and you have fear for situations, and maybe you have fear for imagination, you have fear for unknown things. Question yourself and see for what you have the fear. And then from there, if you recognize the reason, it will show you the way to get out of it. Another thing is you have to develop certain skills in your life that to develop a lifestyle and mental condition. So one is that you have to develop a life, you have to develop a mind, kind of like a mustard seed on the top of the needle. When the mustard seed in the tip of the needle, and there is a possibility it can go to any side. So you accept any situation in life. Remember that example. Be like a mustard seed in the tip of the needle. You have to be like that. Equanimity, you have to develop the equanimity and you have to be strong. Otherwise, always you get panic. Which situation is going to happen? Which situation? Be relaxed. Whatever situation, it is okay. Why? Because nothing going to be forever. Just let it be. Rather than struggling, mostly what is happening, rather than the situations arise, our struggle creates situations and it is more harder than the situation come to us. We are the one who create more difficult situations around us when we get panic. When you get afraid, when you have the fear regarding something or some situations, you create a situation, you make action, that action create a kind of like more difficult situations than the whatever going to happen. So then develop a mind to be calm and relaxed. So you have to practice to be like that, otherwise it's not going to happen. Mind also kind of like because mind all over your body, how you train your body, you know, that Hussein Bolt, you know, how he became the fastest man, because he keep running. He not sleeping and then he come next day and run. No, he keep running, practice, and then he master the body. So the mind the same, your attitude, the way you see the life, and every day you have to look that way. So remember the very first thing, be kind of like a mustard seed in the tip, on the tip of the needle. Any situation, accept anything. Don't afraid for any situation, accept anything. Be kind of like a person to accept anything. Maybe tomorrow, whatever happen, it's okay. Once you decide for that, remember there are a lot of things going to change. You can be the same or you can be completely different. It's okay, accept it. Don't worry. Don't get panicked. Just think yourself, let's go through it. That's it. That is the beauty of the Buddha's character when you look at his the previous lives stories. So whenever you have time, just read a little bit. Rather than this, caught up with the social medias, and then just caught up with this TikTok move, the videos, this prank, the videos. It doesn't add any value to yourself. That's why, day by day, people become kind of like, you know, it's that we losing our own values day by day. So then you have to look what you want in life. If you want to freedom, you have to be strong. To be freedom, find the freedom to be strong, you have to work for yourself, to stand yourself. So then look yourself, what you did today. Just ask the question yourself, what you did today, yours for you. Is there anything you have done to become a better person yourself personally? Or you just, going here and there or wasting time? unnecessarily. So then build up a life, any situation, accept. And another example is be like a drop of water on a lotus leaf. Because when the lotus leaves, the water, it's not going to absorb the water. The water is possible to move to any direction. So be like a drop of water on the lotus leaves. You are able to, be like the bird in the sky. You are ready to fly to any direction. So that is a mental quality that you have to develop. Other than, just caught up with your own mind and own your patterns. Every day the same thing in your life. No, you have to work on you. You have to feed to you with the good skills. Otherwise you cannot find this freedom. Why? Because that our history, we came through these eons, accumulating, you know so much information, and we have to get out of this all. It is not easy. Why? Because our own nature come against us. So that's why, that when you look at the mostly teachings, any religion say, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, this everything, don't do. Why? Because when you get out of things, you become clean. There is nothing to put into you, because everything there, only thing is lot of dust within ourselves, junk. So then you have to get out of the junk. And that's why I say don't kill. Why? Because don't maybe you don't believe. Why every day you say, panatipata, I observe not killing? Why you have to do that? Have you ever thought about it? Of course you are not killing anyone. But how about tomorrow? How that can you guarantee yourself you're not going to do it? And how many times mentally sometimes we kill others? you know so then you have to think yourself a little bit. So that's why it's a, don't do. We say don't do. And stealing, and you're not stealing, physically you didn't do it, you are matured not to do that. But how about tomorrow? Maybe there is a situation come. See that, people become president, you know people become chairman, central bank chairman, and what they do? They stealing money. Ministers, the most of the politicians, what they does? They stealing money. See, that we think, oh, I'm not going to do this, I'm okay. But how about when people become better, they're going higher, what they does mostly? Have you heard sometimes bank managers, they stealing, you know, one penny from an account, thousands account every day they, take out one penny and put it to another account. See, they do that. It's everywhere like that. That's why you have to be very careful. Sexually misconducting. Sometimes we are okay. We don't do that. We are mature to hold ourselves and maintain our life. But how when the tomorrow there is a situation come? Can you guarantee yourself? These things pop up. Because why? Because through this samsaric journey, you know, this that there are things this already inside us. So then that's why you have to be very careful about not telling lies. And sometimes we don't tell lies like that, but how knows tomorrow there is a situation come. Look at some presidents, ministers, how they tell they lies, the entire world watching, but still they keep lying. They act like real, but they lying. Everyone, people can see that. Well, how possible? You have to think, how possible is why these people do like that? If that kind of people do like that, then how tomorrow maybe even you become president, how you're not going to lie? you know so it happened. And taking drugs, alcohol, see, look at the world nowadays more than any other time. Heroin, marijuana, ice, that one of the dangerous thing, and it's kill all the brain cells. Everywhere people find so much drugs. How? Why? Because people use it. That's why. Everywhere. you know. So everywhere people get into that. And people always look for getting, high. They look for extreme kind of sensual pleasures. See, this we are need. That's why, we say don't do this, don't do this. Every day we say don't do this, don't do this. I don't do this, I don't do this. Why you have to keep reminding? Because sometimes it can happen. Mostly it happen because of the fear. That's why you have to develop every day. You have to be mature, to be strong. Mentally, be strong yourself. Otherwise, that things can happen. There are situations come when if you are not enough matured to look deeply, things can happen. It's nothing wrong about it. Because why? Because that is the nature. It's like breathing. We inhale, exhale, the same thing. Those are the worldly condition. This is the world. So we are in that world. So it's like when you jump to the water, you get wet. It's like in the samsara, we all get wet out of this kind of qualities. So nothing wrong about it. Only thing is, going with it doesn't make any progress in our life. So then it is our personal responsibility to take care of ourselves. So that's why little by little, maybe you will do it, but still, again and again, again and again, you have to try, you have to practice. And whatever happen, it is okay, forget it and move forward and be clear yourself. So don't stuck with that and don't afraid for the situations. Whatever happen, if it is happen, it happen. You know, if there is a way that you can escape, you escape. Otherwise, if it is happen, it happen. But get back to your path as soon as possible. That is the power you have to develop. Even with the good or the bad, don't go to the the extreme level of end and stuck there. And try to get back, get out of it. It doesn't matter, bad things happen. You have done with something, get out of it as soon as possible and come to the line and walk. And maybe good things happen. Don't stuck there in that end. Get out of it and move forward. That is a skill. It's kind of like a socket sober. The when you practice meditation, the mind become like a socket sober. Its ability to absorb the shocks. This we get shocked. If you cannot get it, what will happen? When people get shocked, sometimes they get heart attack and die. They get pain. And sometimes people, they lose their whole mind. Why? Because they cannot absorb it, they cannot get it. Be a person, even sometimes not the bad things, even the good things. Some people cannot hear the good news. Some people cannot hear the good, and some people cannot hear the good and the bad both. So be a person that yourself, that absorb, learn to absorb, but don't hold it to any situation and move forward. Let things go through. That keep you free from the situation. Another one is, be like a person, how the tigers or the cats, they hold the babies cub, and from the through their teeth they hold the cub from their neck and carry. See that, as the tigers, if they hold this arm, what will happen to this arm? It's going to become pieces, that much sharp. But how about once they hold the cub or the babies and they carry, and that babies doesn't get any harm. So learn to catch things like that. That is a skill. That's mean not too strong. Why? Because if you too strong, it get destroyed. And not too soft. Why? Because if it is too soft, it will fall down. So then whatever perception come to your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, be with it without too strong attachment. If so, you're going to get hurt. And don't resist also. Don't be too soft also. Then you cannot experience the world. Then what is the point becoming a human being? No, so then you have to find the balance. So then remember the example. Be like a tiger or the cat, hold the cub from the neck, from their own teeth, without harming to it or without dropping it. They able to carry the cub place to place. So three examples. One is, be like a mustard seed on the top of the needle. Any possibility you accept. Another one is, be like a drop of water on the lotus leaves. Any direction you go. Another one is, and hold things like the tigers or the cats, how they hold their own babies or the cub from the neck. Not too hard, not too soft. So that is a skill. If you are fearful, you cannot do that. To become like that, have that kind of mental condition, and you have to get out of the fear. So to get out of the fear, stay away from fear, you cannot do it. So the very first thing, that you don't afraid for the fear. Why? Because it is a thought. So then go deeper and look where it coming from. What is the reason? Where the beginning of it? And once you see that seeing itself make you free. So that is the seeing, that means it is kind of like you see the truth. So when you see the truth shall make you free. So that is the method that you have to develop through vipassana. That is where it take you. So otherwise, that if you are not able to handle the situation, unnecessary things can hurt us. So then yourself remember, you know, somehow little by little, learn to handle situations. There was a monk, and he giving advice to people. So somehow the a village person, and he having a heart attack. He a heart patient, and he sometimes he get heart attack. So he used to come to monk and always having Dhamma discussion with the monk. So, and then he used to buy lotteries. So he buy lotteries and give it to wife. So the wife every day check, is there any chance, any luck? Mostly, they throw it away. So one day, when the wife saw the lottery, and she recognized it won the first prize, it's $1 million. And she was kind of like you know concerned about her husband. Why? Because he's a heart patient. And she thought, oh, if I tell this, maybe he going to get a heart attack, because he get excited, and then he going to get a heart attack. So then what I have to do? So she thought about it. How I can tell? So we won the prize, we hit the jackpot. So then she was thinking, oh, it is good, go to temple and tell monk first, and through the monk, then, if that, because he always go to and have the discussion with the monk. So it is better go to monk and tell the news, and then the monk can tell him, and then that way he can handle, and maybe the monk know how to tell him, in a nice way. So somehow she went to the temple and met the monk, and told, oh, venerable sir, we hit the jackpot, and it is $1 million jackpot. So I want to give this news to my husband, and can you tell him? So the monk was so happy, and monk told, oh, yeah, I will do it, and when he come in the evening, I will talk to him. So then, evening as usual, this person came to temple, and then now monk was having discussion, and then the monk asked, by the way, I know you buy lotteries every day. The guy told, yeah, I buy lotteries, but no winning. This all lies, cheating us. I lose money every day. So the monk asked, by the way, that in case, that if you win the first prize, what you going to do? So then this person took it very, easy, and told, if I win, I give half of money to you as respect, and as offering to the temple, like a donation. By hearing that, the monk got the heart attack and he died. You know, so that is the life. It happened to us. So what is the moral? And sometimes we give advice, and we give uh, kind of like guidance, and we tell children, don't do this, that, like that way. And but when the situation come to us, we cannot handle it. So then it is your responsibility. More than this outside world, always remember the condition of your deeper inside your inner nature, and recognize it. That's why through the vipassana, it take you to the bottom, and it will show the condition of the mind, and the nature of the mind, and the behavior of the mind. And seeing The behavior, nature, and the condition of your own mind is the most beautiful experience that you can gain as a human being. So it is possible, but it is your choice. So if you practice it, if you really look for that and go for it, that is where you find the real freedom. And in that freedom, no fear. When there is no fear, and when you have that inner freedom, remember, that is where you're going to gain the liberation. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata cha ammehi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idam me punya kammang ආසවක්කයාවං හෝතු සබ්බ දුක්ඛා පමුංචතු. Bless you.